Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and I wanted to take a look at the Davos summit that is happening right now. And I find it ironic that they call it a summit, because the summit is the highest point of a mountain. And in the scriptures, the mountains are referred to as the governments, or the mountains are the governments, and the hills are the smaller governments. But the scriptures also say that the Lord is going to melt these mountains. And so this is an article from Euronews.com. And it says Davos 2023, the 5 key talking points set to dominate the agenda at this year's World Economic Forum. I also find it ironic that they use the word dominate, because that is what they're looking to do, to push out their world domination. This is a meeting to find out and speak on ways in which they can gain more control over the regular people and over the earth. So it says the World Economic Forum is gearing up for its annual meeting in the Swiss resort of Davos this week. Davos meaning son of David. It will be the first time since the thingy thing swept the globe that the event will return to its former scale last seen in 2020. In the coming week, 50 heads of state and government from a mix of G20 and G7 countries are due to attend. G20 and G7, I forget which one's which, but one goes into politics. I believe it's the G7 that discusses politics, and then the G20 discusses finances and economics. It says as well as 200 cabinet ministers and 1,500 business leaders, all in all 130 countries from around the world will be represented at the meeting in the picturesque town high in the Swiss Alps. As with every previous meeting, the most pressing issues facing the world today will be up for discussion as the 2,700 invited speakers grapple to find potential solutions. The theme of the 2023 meeting is cooperation in a fragmented world. But which global challenge will be the top of the agenda to tackle first? These are set to be the key talking points this year. And so the first one is the cost of living crisis. And this is all due to the inflation and really the elite's greed, which is just driving up the cost of living, as well as with the inflation, which inflation is pretty much the value of the dollar or whichever currency you're going off of, the devaluing of that, which goes into prices rising. The value lowering, the prices are going to be higher because it's going to take more of those dollars to get whatever good you're looking to get. And we're just going to skip through and just hit on these points so we can get into the scriptures. The next point is the ongoing war in Ukraine, and that is not going to end well for NATO and the US. Then we've got the climate crisis, which is aka a power shift, and they're trying to keep their control over the world and over the people. They don't want the power shifting from their hands, which is understandable, but the prophecies say different, because the kingdom of Yahushai, the kingdom of Israel, is coming. The next issue is the growing food crisis, which I dare to say this is actually manufactured just to make people more desperate so that they'll make decisions that they don't actually want to make, particularly the MOTB, and coercing people to do that through their belly. And then the fourth industrial revolution, and that's looking into that is trying to meld man with machine and their technology, and the end game for that is the MOTB, spoken of in Revelation 13, Salakia. But yeah, these elites are meeting up and trying to keep control. They're trying to keep their birthright, and they're trying to keep their rulership continuing, the continuation of government, or their government. They want to keep it going, and they're even going to fight the Lord when he returns. But all of this is just silly. They're not going to be able to go against the prophecies. So this is Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Like, why don't they understand the prophecies and how the Most High is in total control of this? They can't do anything, but instead they are raging and trying to remain in control. I wanted to get that word vain here. It's H7385. And it goes into emptiness, vanity, idleness. It says from emptiness, figuratively a worthless thing. So it's worthless to even attempt to remain in power when Yahushua returns. In vain, empty, to no purpose. There's no reason for them to be doing this, because these are all problems in which they created, or problems that they are pushing onto the people, like the fourth industrial revolution. Nobody asked for that, but yet they are trying to push it onto the people in order to stay in control. So it's a vain thing. It's empty. It's not going to happen. Yahushua is returning to set up his kingdom in the kingdom of Israel. Verse 2, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together. And that is what that summit is. It's the kings of the earth speaking and talking to each other, trying to remain in power. It says, take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Trying to disannul the prophecies and trying to stay in power. Because the prophecies are that Yahushua is going to return and remove them out of the power seat in which they are in. Job 14 says that they have bounds, speaking of the Edomites, bounds that they cannot pass, is in their rulership, their time to have these summits, to sit at the top of the mountain. Daniel 4:17 says that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, setting over it the basest of men. And in Psalm, which let's go ahead and get this one, 75:7, it says, but the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. And so currently We're watching the fall of the Edomites as well as the fall of the other heathen and the coming up of the Israelites and the establishment of Yahushai's kingdom as well as the kingdom of Israel. It's like it says in Lamentations 4:21. It's just a changing of places. It's the tables being turned. So this is Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Edom being the self-proclaimed white people who are in charge right now. This is their kingdom that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. That cup being the cup of the curses, particularly the ones in Deuteronomy 28. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. It's an exposing all of the wickedness in which they have done. Verse 22, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Zion meaning monument, speaking to the Israelites being the Negroes, the Latinos, and the Native Americans, as well as anyone who comes from the seed of those people, as in through their father. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And so it's just the tables are being turned, and Esau doesn't like that. He's calling it climate change. But regardless, it's going to happen anyway. They have sins to answer for. This is verse 4, he says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. And in Job, he spoke of how they that are younger than I have me in derision. Derision going into mocking or laughing at, which we might as well even get it. Just H39:32. To mock, to deride, to ridicule. And that's exactly what they've done with us, or to us, with their blackface and all their jokes and games and cartoons that they made about us, all the names, and it says we would be a proverb and a byword. But that time is coming to pass. It's of old now. It's now the Edomites that are going to be in derision. Which there's other times in which he speaks of derision and how that is changing onto the Edomites. So this is Ezekiel 36:4. It says, therefore, you mountains of Israel, and the leadership, the governing body of Israel, hear the word of the Lord power. Thus saith the Lord power to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Because just showing we became a derision, we became a laughing stock. We were the mockery of everyone, of all the nations. We were there, but the Lord is turning the tables. And he said he's going to have the heathen in derision now. And he's going to laugh at them greatly. This is verse 5. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. And all those curses are going to be turned unto them. And they are going to receive double, especially Edom. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion, that being Yahushai, over the Israelites. I will declare the decree The Lord has said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. And so that's what they're trying to stop. They don't want to be Yahushai's inheritance. They don't want to be slaves to the nation of Israel. And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Because he's going to have all of the earth, every bit of it. It was created for him and the Israelites. A while back ago, I was talking to Kabosh at camp, and we were speaking about this particular line, Psalm 2 and 8, and how the Lord, Yahushai, is the bridegroom, and Israel is the bride, and there's a wedding taking place, joining the two together, and how the heathen for an inheritance in the uttermost parts of the earth for possession, how that is actually like a marriage gift, a gift unto Yahushai and to the Israelites. And these summit leaders are just a part of that. Verse 9, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. So Yahushua is going to do that, but since the elect are joint heirs, they will be doing that too. And Lord willing, I'm a part of that. Part of breaking the heathen to pieces. This is just to show that the elect will be doing this as well. This is Revelation 2 and 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And that's all 130 countries that were meeting at that summit, and all of those little members, unless any of them happen to be Israelites, which I highly doubt. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So that is what's going to be happening in the rulership of Israel. It's going to be very rigorous, because the heathen are going to have to be put under the law, and it's not going to mesh with them, especially now the Edomites. They're completely adverse to the Lord's ways, to his laws, statutes, and commandments, and everything. So they are going to be broken into shivers every time they cross the line. But the other nations, with the exception of Esau, Edom, of the Edomites, they will eventually learn the ways of the Lord and be set back into their own lands, and the earth will greatly benefit from it. Verse 10, be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. The Lord said we would be kings and priests, serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. And that's the whole duty of man, is to fear the Most High and keep his commandments. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and you perish from the way. And let's go into that word kiss, because it's going into just submitting unto the Lord and his ways. So you get down here to the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, and it says to arrange, to put in order. So the hopeful elect have to put themselves in order under Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Down here it says they shall declare their fidelity and submission. So you're submitting unto the Lord and his ways, unto this truth, lest he be angry and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. And that's speaking to the Israelites, because we're the only ones with faith and the only ones that will have rulership with the Lord in the kingdom that's coming. So these heathen are meeting at the summit, at the Davos summit right now, trying to discuss how to stay in power. But as it says up here, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? It's just not going to happen. The prophecies are going to come true, come to pass, no matter what they do, no matter if they like it or not. That is just the way it is. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Urkak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.